For not the first time this season, we got a bad goalie interference call. Let's talk about it, and today I'm actually going to take some time to break down the rule. I wouldn't be surprised if at their upcoming meeting, GMs talked about the goalie interference rule. It's been pretty prevalent early on this season, and I suspect more of these calls will happen. Alright, so the play was in the Rangers-Arizona game as mentioned. You can see Zibanejad is chasing down a puck when the Arizona goalie comes out of his net, and I can't put it really any other way. Slides into Zibanejad, who makes contact with the goalie, and obviously a scrum ensues, and Zibanejad gets a penalty. I think the MSG crew did a good job of breaking down why this shouldn't be called. Refs will typically look at the lines a player is skating, whether they've diverted around a goalie to avoid contact, whether they've moved into contact, or whether they're just naturally skating after a puck. In this case, Zibanejad obviously isn't trying to run the goalie. He follows his initial skating trajectory, and the Arizona goalie is really the one who initiates contact. So looking at the NHL rulebook, goalie interference penalties are governed by Rule 69. There are a few nuances to the rule that I think now would be a good time to clear up. Some of them are relevant to this situation, some of them aren't. First of all, goalkeeper interference can happen inside or outside the crease. We'll come back to that. Also, we'll come back to the fact that not all contact will necessarily be a penalty. Another nuance to the rule is that it won't be deemed illegal contact if a player was pushed or knocked into a goaltender and they made a reasonable effort to avoid the contact. Anyway, Rule 69.4 deals with contact outside the goal crease and actually rebuts one thing that I've heard a ton. It says specifically that just because a goalie is outside of their crease does not mean that they're fair game. However, goalies aren't bubble wrapped, and I think this is how the application fits for the previous play. Incidental contact will be allowed when the goalkeeper is in the act of playing the puck outside of his goal crease, provided the attacking player has made a reasonable effort to avoid such unnecessary contact. Now, incidental contact isn't actually defined in the rules, but I think it's pretty clearly understood what that means. You're not trying to hit the goalie, it's something that happens in the course of ordinary play, basically. This is clearly what should have been applied here. Mika's not trying to hit the goalie, he's trying to chase the puck around the net. He takes reasonable precautions to avoid the goalie, however, the goalie himself sort of slides into the contact. If anything, he interfered with Zibanejad, although that's also going too far as well. If you look in the rulebook at the very end, there's also helpful tables which explain how certain situations should be handled, and if you look, Table 16B, this shouldn't have been a penalty. I think in the spirit of fairness, the refs probably could have used a discretionary call against one of the players who mugged Mika afterwards. That would have been a better way to handle the situation. But that's all I really got for this. I know some of you are going to be frustrated I'm covering another Rangers video. However, I was out last night. Some of my friends are in town. I actually posted a really funny picture of one of them having rolled down Citadel Hill. If you want to check my Twitter out, I'll link it down below. So I didn't watch any games except for, I guess, casually what was on at the bar. However, this morning I went back. I knew I'd have time to watch one, so I watched the Rangers game. As for the game itself, I saw it described as like vintage 2021-22 Rangers, and that's true. Arizona had some good chances. Shesterkin kept the team alive. Then they scored when they should have, including, again, vintage, a Kreider deflection on a Zibanejad shot, Fox being awesome on the blue line. But yeah, I wish I could watch every single game, but I actually run other channels. Some of you probably know me from them, so I just don't have time to. If I ever make hockey my full-time gig, I'll watch every game. Until then, be safe, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.